Hello, hello. Welcome to the studio, the go-to podcast for creators and entrepreneurs looking to monetize their content and make money online. I'm Abby.
I'm Nick. We're your hosts. We help creators turn their ideas into reality by sharing industry insights and bringing on special guests who know the best.
Okay, so picture this. You're standing in an elevator and the doors open and your dream investor or partner walks in. They press the 10th floor button and the elevator starts climbing levels. You suddenly realize that this is a once in a lifetime chance, and you have about 30 seconds to tell them who you are, what you do, and why they should be working with you. Now, think about this. Would you be ready to pitch your idea confidently and accurately? Or would this unpreparedness settle in and this once in a lifetime opportunity would be missed? For the majority of people, the opportunity would be ruined and their chance would have slipped right out of the elevator door on that 10th floor. But you're different. You're going to take these next couple of days to solidify your elevator pitch and walk around with a newfound confidence in who you are and what you're doing.
Yes, absolutely. So let's dive into why an elevator pitch is so important. A huge component to building your own brand is networking. To network, you have to have the ability to be able to communicate who you are, what you do, and why who you're talking to should know who you are. Your elevator pitch is your first impression. It's your time to introduce yourself, and what you do, like I'd mentioned before, helps people understand your value and sparks curiosity in just who you are and why you do what you do, and just the opportunity for you to just continue practicing your networking abilities regardless of what comes out of it.
Yes. And not only do you need to be able to present yourself to other people, but knowing your elevator pitch is going to help you become very clear on how you think about yourself. So knowing your 30-second pitch, it's going to help you build this strong confidence in your sense of self, because you have a clear mission, you have a clear statement, and you're not fumbling over your words and having this little moment of doubt when you're trying to communicate what you're doing. Now you have confidence and you have a powerful presence when you're speaking about what you're doing, and that's going to give you an inner sense of confidence as well.
Yeah, definitely. The ability to be able to present your brand, your business, yourself in a compelling way to possibly future investors and even business partners. And depending on how clear and sure you came across, it's key to making sure that you are remembered in this process, because your elevator pitch is going to be what introduces you and what you have to offer.
Yeah. So let's hop into this. We want to talk about the 5 key elements that should be included in a very compelling, powerful, and bold elevator pitch. So the first thing that you're going to start with is who you are, of course. This is your intro. So just quickly state your name and your position, what you're doing. And then you go in and you lead that into your conversation starter. So this is going to be what you want to do with this conversation starter is pick something that might be a little controversial, that's going to get people to think, because you're talking about something that's a little bit different. So it could be a common problem that you see in your industry, or a problem that you noticed in the world itself and how things work, or an approach that you've been seeing people take in something that you believe is wrong. So your name and intro is going to be your first thing, and that second thing is going to be your CCS, your controversial conversation starter. And that's how you're going to introduce yourself.
And from there, you'll want to talk about how you're going to solve whatever problem it is that your potential prospect is facing in their environment right now. So stating what you do is going to be initially the first key to whether you are needed by this person, because people are looking, or businesses or just any entity, they are looking for whatever they're looking for when they come across it. That's when your elevator pitch becomes so important. What you do initially has to come off very, very quickly. Like for ourselves, we have a plethora of services that we offer, but we pick very specifically based on maybe who we're speaking to or the environment that we're in, and base ourselves off that way instead of having diarrhea of the mouth possibly in everything that we do. So pick one or two things that you're very strong in, and then your services can be branched off of there, or products, or whatever it may be, what you do, but refine it and then expand from there if needed. Secondly, who it serves. Who is your ideal client necessarily is going to kind of tie in with what you do and what you're presenting. So who it serves is initially going to be the people that you're working with, or their audience and their clientele possibly. And lastly, you solve this problem and how. So it all ties back together. It's a little bit of a formula, I guess you could take it. And your problem solving abilities are going to be initially what someone's looking for, and you may possibly be the correct fit that they need within whatever it is that you do.
Yeah. So now you have your intro, you have your controversial conversation starter. You have introduced how you solve your problem by what you do, and now you bring in your passion for what you're doing, and that's number 4. So how is what you're doing making an impact different from others? What is your unique approach? What kind of results are actually coming from it? And speak about this with passion, because what you do is only half the story. There's going to be a million people who do what you do, but how you do it and the passion that comes behind what you're doing is going to be what really nails this pitch home. So definitely make sure to allow your passion to speak through, and that's number 4.
And lastly is your pitch. What would it do for whoever you're speaking to if they worked with you? This is going to capture their curiosity, like I mentioned before. People are looking for their ideal people to work with, and this is going to be captured through their curiosity of attention that you may be speaking on what you do. Asking thought-provoking questions is extremely important due to the fact that, what are they looking for? Help them unpack it. They initially may have an idea, but maybe they just need to speak with somebody who's an expert in that industry and maybe realize something that they needed along the lines that they didn't know that they would possibly need. So you can be highly valuable to somebody. Asking those questions allows you to stay in control of the conversation, which then gives you the more confidence to stay on top of what you're speaking about instead of getting what's the correct word that I'm looking for? Like taken back based off somebody else's questions because you may not know how to answer them. While you are continuously asking these questions, that can include how would the world change based on your services, your business, and the impact that you're making.
Mm-hmm. Yes, wrapping that all up into a powerful pitch is going to be what closes the deal. It's one thing to present what you're doing. It's another thing to actually close that loop in this pitch and ask for help. So, and that's through presenting how you're going to change the world, what questions could be solved with what you're doing. So all of this is extremely important. When you tie it all together, it makes a strong pitch. So let's actually just go through 3 examples so that you can see what we're talking about in action. So example 1, we're going to start with the intro. So let's talk about someone named Alyssa. We're just making this up here. So Alyssa is a PR strategist, and that's what she focuses on. She has a bunch of subgenres of things that she can do within her PR strategy that she likes to do. But overall, she calls herself a PR strategist. So quick and easy intro is, I'm Alyssa, I'm a PR strategist. Now you step into that CCS, that controversial conversation starter. I noticed that a lot of small businesses don't get the exposure that they need. And even if they do, it's because they're paying thousands of dollars for it. So you notice how she brought up something that she was seeing in the world, a problem that she was seeing in the world. And then she noticed that people are paying thousands of dollars to solve that problem. And you see how that kind of provokes your thought? It sounds controversial, like why should you have to pay thousands of dollars? That doesn't sound right. And it gets you thinking right off the bat about that controversial conversation starter. So now she steps in with her solution, step 3, and she says, I teach small businesses how to get their own PR through pitching. And then that's saying how she takes that problem of paying thousands of dollars for that PR and teaches small business owners how to do it themselves. So that's her solving the problem in her unique way. And so we step that into it and we go to the unique approach. So I believe that any business, no matter how small, has the ability to get published in major magazines. So this is her unique view. Other people believe that you have to be this huge monster of a company to get represented in magazines, but she believes any small business can, and that's what makes her different. So her pitch then, instead of maybe asking somebody directly, do you want to work with me? She chose to go with this question, a thought-provoking question. So she says, how would you feel if you were able to get your first published article within just 1 month? So you see how that was so powerful. And it asks a question and it makes the person think, I would have paid thousands of dollars. Now I can do it myself and get published within the first month. You see how that all makes you start thinking, and it positions her in a way where she's this leader thinking differently and can help my business. So you can definitely see how all of that put together turns into a very powerful pitch.
Yeah. Let's move on to another example. So I'm going to play Terry, and Terry is a social media manager. So the intro, very short, very sweet, very simple. I'm Terry, and I'm a social media manager. Terry could have multiple services that he offers beyond social media management, but ultimately he is a social media management. His controversial conversation starter is people are missing out on clients they would be landing on social media. So controversial topic is social media and landing clients on this platform or any platform of social media. The reason why is it's a new concept to many business owners possibly, or one that hasn't been tested out traditionally and may not have the same fallback as what they previously experienced in landing clients. So Terry is a social media manager, and he helps people missing out on clients that they could be landing on social media. So he offers a solution of what are they missing is the content that converts. Tried to combine the two words together. So a lot of businesses that are on social media are missing content that's engaging in entertainment that converts with their audience. So Terry comes in with the solution. He's going to teach you how to apply content that is converting into new clients. So his unique approach comes with a passion that is coming up with creative ways to express a message effectively through social media. It can be super difficult to express emotion and power through what you feel for the passion that you have about your business. So using social media as a tool can be extremely unique and have unique approaches that come with it based on who you are. So Terry has the ability to work with other individuals and bring their personality into their brand and their business. And that's why he started to gain success. So he asked, have you considered hiring a professional to turn your social media into profit? So now he's engaging with his potential prospect of this is something that maybe they have thought about in the past, were unsure of, but now have met somebody who has the confidence, very short, very sweet way to say, I can be somebody that could essentially help. They exchange business information, contact information, and Terry follows up with him on a later date.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually like that ending question too, because like when we were talking about that first example, it was, how would you feel if you're able to get published within a month? And that provokes a feeling within the person. But then the second example is, have you ever considered hiring a professional to work for your social media? So that's directly asking and thinking, I haven't thought about that, but maybe I should hire somebody. So that's these questions at the end of the pitch are very engaging, and it helps loop everything together and gets them thinking about working with you. So I really like the ending to that pitch too. But let's talk through another example. And we'll go with
Playing yourself.
Yeah. So here, let's talk about what we actually do. So here's an example of what I pitch. I'm Abigail. I'm a brand strategist, There are so many incredible people who have business ideas and passions that could change the world. But the number one thing holding them back is their online presence lacks attractability and credibility. So right there, I told who I am, what I'm seeing in the world, and what's holding people back. So now let's go into the solution. The solution is creating a powerful online brand presence will solve that problem. We teach people how to profit on their passions by creating a personal brand. So you see how we talked about the solution, we talked about our unique approach, which is actually teaching people to profit on their passions, which is controversial in itself. So that all turns into powerful what we do, why we're doing it, how our approach is different. And then now we close it down. If you could profit doing what you love and leave your 9 to 5, would you do it? So that gets people thinking, would I? Could I? And that starts, and even if they don't think it yet, it starts provoking these thoughts in them, and they want to ask more questions about brand strategy. They want to ask more questions about turning things into a full-time living. And it starts making them question, is my online presence attractable? Is it credible? What do I need to do? And it starts provoking all of these questions in their head. So all of this is what you need to take for yourself now and turn into your unique pitch.
Definitely. I definitely want to include this very important piece of information that has to come along on the back end of it. You can have a great conversation, meet great people, do great networking, but people are honestly going to have trouble remembering if they've met a bunch of people, possibly. If you go to networking events, regardless, it's great to carry business cards. If you can't afford business cards, there are free tools out there such as Blink, which is a digital business card, and you can just have someone QR scan. But I would highly recommend investing in yourself, picking up business cards, getting a service card, something that represents your business that you can physically hand to somebody that they can go, very nice, very professional. I see you, I'll remember you. It's outside of their phone. And of course, what will follow after that, once you've exchanged contact information, you've dropped your elevator pitch, be ready to answer more questions. Don't just run away just yet, because you're going to be excited to possibly meet more people. But it's more valuable to build one very strong connection with somebody and have a very strong elevator pitch than it is to have 100 different elevator pitches and then possibly go nowhere. Quantity can be better than quality, but quality is also important to improve on with practice. And if you find yourself in an opportunity of speaking with people where it's going in a great direction, make sure that you make sure you maintain the posture of professionality and time management, and end the conversation on a proper note when it's time to move on.
Yeah, absolutely. So now take all of what you've learned, take the examples that we showed you, and create your own elevator pitch. This is going to change everything for you as a creator and entrepreneur. This is going to be your saving grace. It's going to help you get your partners. It's going to help you get new clients. It's going to help you get your investors. This is your starting foundation. So we're going to challenge you at the end of this episode. We want you to record yourself on your phone, in the mirror, whatever. Record yourself until you have your elevator down to 30 seconds or less, and you're feeling confident in yourself. So that's all for this episode of The Studio. We'll see you next week.